A few months ago, I uploaded what would become one of my most popular, yet controversial video essays, that being an experimental video essay called The Scott The Woz Problem, an analysis of his success and the emerging problem. In the video, I spend the most time talking about how he makes his videos just by analyzing what I saw on screen and by my own experience making similar content. The reasons it's controversial? We'll get into that in a little bit. Well, anyways, recently Scott went on to the Exposed podcast and talked about his video making process. Most of what he said I expected. The thing that stood out to me was the fact that his videos take 2 to 3 days to write according to him. I would have expected 1 to 2 days, since I'd imagine if you're making a video essay in a week, you wouldn't want to take too much time writing the video since editing can take forever. But who am I to say that? I haven't tried making a video essay in a week, and with that I gave myself a challenge. The Scott The Woz challenge is exactly what you would expect. Make a video game related video essay in a week. A few reasons why I wanted to do this. To see if I could do it, give myself a deadline for a video for once in my pathetic life, see firsthand how hard Scott The Woz works, give myself an excuse to talk about video games, as my channel is about internet culture, not games. And after working for a week, here's what I have to show. After the video essay plays, I will go over what it was like to make it. Then after that, I will respond to criticism of my previous Scott The Woz video. Basically, what I'm saying is you're about to watch 3 video essays in one. There are timestamps on your screen and in the pinned comment and in the description, so if you want to skip around and come back or just watch one section, you can do that. Enjoy. This video took forever. Hola todos, Miguel Agui. Hey all, Michael here. Did you know I have blue eyes? A lot of people apparently don't know that, so now you do. Anyways, recently I went to PAX East 2020, and you might be thinking I'm nuts for going with the recent pandemic. I went prepared. Besides only going prepared, I went with my buddy Edward, who you may recognize from previous videos. We wandered around just looking for any game we could play without having to wait in a line. And one of those games we played was River City Girls, a 16-bit and anime-styled beat-em-up that was addicting as all hell. Also on this day, I met up with my buddy and fellow content creator, Sunmilk.
Instead of giving rights, it's time to take away rights.
Who's got the clip? No e-girls, never!
And got dinner. But the reason why I'm mentioning this is because while I was at dinner with her and fellow media people, one of them asked me a question. What games do you play? I kind of froze and said CSGO. And I believe I also said Minecraft. As of late, I've kinda lost interest in playing video games. Back in elementary school, I loved Roblox and Minecraft. Back in middle school, I loved those games, alongside retro games. I started collecting the older consoles and games. I also constantly consumed content about retro games. I watched a lot of Peanut Butter Gamer, JonTron, The Angry Video Game Nerd, and many others. Then going into high school, I got into the Madden NFL franchise, and that became the only game I really played. If you add up the hours I put into Madden 16, 17, 18, and 19, you get a total of over 2.3k hours. After that, I kinda just gave up on video games for the most part, outside of just some casual play. As I started working and getting deeper into my high school career, I kinda felt like I outgrew video games for the most part. I used to go to PAX East every year, but stopped doing that, and I didn't really play them anymore. Now, my interest in games wasn't completely gone. I still watched some gaming content creators like Scott The Woz and the Angry Video Game Nerd, and I still played casually from time to time. Although, as of late, I've started to feel like an epic gamer again. I started playing some Halo 2 and Super Nostalgia Zone on Roblox, which, if you didn't know, is a game on Roblox that emulates older versions of Roblox. It's fucking awesome. Like I stated previously to the person at the dinner I went to, I also started playing CSGO pretty regularly. And now that we are all caught up on the Michael Alberto war, we can finally talk about River City Girls. River City Girls, like I said earlier, is a 16-bit and anime-styled beat-em-up. It's a spin-off in the Kunio-kun series, which I didn't know till I started researching this video. You walk around and beat people up till you win, like all beat-em-ups. Want to replenish your health or get stat boosts? Go to a store and buy items with the money you stole, you little bitch. My favorite store is called Legal Drugs. Here you can buy aspirin and perk 30s. A lot of things in this game make me wonder how it didn't get a T for teen rating.
Badass.
It's rated everybody 10 and up. Also, isn't this copyright infringement? The plot is simple. Kunio and Ricky, the protagonists of the series this is based off of, get kidnapped and you gotta save them. You play as one of these two girls. Their names are Kyoko and Masako. Kyoko is the comic relief character. She isn't very bright and most of her dialogue is meant to be funny.
Shouldn't you two be in detention or something?
We broke out.
OMG, seriously? I was joking.
And I'm ditching my school to hang out here.
She's my favorite character to play as she feels faster than Masako. Also, her design translates better to 16-bit better than Masako. Masako is the smarter and the more serious character in the story. She feels slower but more powerful, but that might just be because I played as Kyoko the whole time and really leveled her up. The main dialogue in the story is fully voice acted with phenomenal voice actors and actresses. It's also written well. It's funny and not unintentionally cringy for the most part. The security guard at the beginning of the game, Mizuzu, made me cringe and feel uncomfortable, but that was intentional by the writers.
Boys hate scrawny little bugs. They want a woman with meat on her bones. And I got all the meat. If you find Kunio and Ricky, you tell them Masuzu says hi.
Ew. Come on, Kyoko.
Also, I feel like everybody who went to public schools had a Mizuzu, as she feels very familiar. A part that did make me cringe that wasn't supposed to was this part.
That smirk off your face before I punch it off!
I'd like to see you try, Dinglebutt.
Dinglebutt?
It's an insult, you tool!
Nobody insults me, but me!
Get bit! Get wrecked! Get beat, get sliced, get destroyed, and get off my stage!
Now, I'd love to talk about the stories and the characters in more detail, but I don't want to ruin the experience for you because I want you guys to play it. It's a great game. The game controls well. Normally with similar types of games, the button combos to pull off certain moves are hard or take a lot of reading manuals and stuff.
Forward high kick, down up low punch. You know, we're all hopped up on GamePro magazines.
But I find these controls very simple. It's easy for new players to just hop in with no prior experience. I can attest. I do have two problems though. You can only sprint left and right, not up and down. Kind of gets annoying. Also, I played this game with a keyboard. That was a learning curve because all of the interfaces were never made with a keyboard in mind. And I couldn't find a way to change the keyboard layout, so. But for playing this game with a controller, this shouldn't be an issue. The normal difficulty I played on was challenging, but it didn't feel too challenging. I never really got stuck at certain areas for too long. Also, did I mention how satisfying it is to defeat your enemies? I felt the boss battles at the beginning of the game were harder than at the end, but that's probably because I got past the learning curve I talked about. Also, the second to last boss was much cooler, original, and challenging than the final boss. I did notice some glitches and some hitbox issues. A lot of people made this a huge complaint, but I only had one glitch where I had to restart the game, and the hitbox issues I encountered were only a little annoying. It didn't ruin the experience by any means at all. Also, I don't know where to put this, but this was really annoying.
Ladies, welcome. I lost the love of my life.
After the first skip, why couldn't it just take me to the boss fight? Were the other 3 skips really necessary? Now, what do you get when you beat the game? You unlock the ability to play as Cunio and Ricky, and you get to play a harder version of the game. I like this, but why is it when I play the harder version, they still give me the tutorial? Like, I already beat the game, I know how to play it. The 16-bit and anime-styled fusion works beautifully. Not much to really say other than that. Now I have quite a bit to say about the music. It just coats your ears. It can go from chiptune music that mimics the sounds of gaming's yesteryears to really well-made pop music. It all sounds great and fits together nicely. Normally when I play games, I gotta play a video in the background or bump some Kanye West music to keep my attention, but I didn't have to do that here. River City Girls is a fun and unique game. I love pretty much everything about it. It was challenging to me at some parts, but it didn't feel overwhelmingly challenging. A problem I have with it is the price. I feel this is more of a $15 to $20 game, but they did have people like Jacksepticeye and Nate Wants to Battle to work on it, so maybe that's why it's $30, I don't know. I haven't had this much fun playing a game in a long time. This video was an absolute nightmare to make. You know, it's pretty stressful making a video essay in a week during a pandemic. Let's start from the beginning. I started writing the video on Tuesday, March 10th at school. I originally thought the script would be 100% done in 2 days. I even went to school in my normal outfit I wear in my video essays, and I brought my recording equipment. I was planning to have the live action sections written and shot on the first day of the production and record them at school. No. Eat shit, bitch. Needless to say, that didn't happen. Also, before you think this is weird, I'm a media student. On March 11th, I stayed home because someone caught the Rona in my city and I got scared. Now, with all this free time, you'd think I'd get a lot done, right? I didn't get much done at all. I adjusted the script a bit and got onto a phone call with my good friend Chloe. In this call, I asked if she could assist me by editing one of the video essays in this video. She agreed. Before you ask, no, she did not help me with the challenge at all. I just knew by the time I finished the challenge, I would be too tired and unmotivated to create 2 more full video essays by myself. So I wanted her to help me with this huge fucking video, alright? I would keep writing the video and recording gameplay of River City Girls until March 15th. On that day, I started recording the narration. I narrated it and then had to sort through the audio and cut out all the bad takes. This process always takes forever with me, because I have a short fucking attention span when it comes to boring shit like this. And because I suck at narrating. I frequently find myself hating all the takes of a line, and instead of just re-recording the line like a normal person would, I usually chop up all the takes of said line and artificially create the take I kinda want. Hello everybody, this is Michael Alberto, and today we will be talking about... Doing this is probably harder than just re-recording the lines, but... Well, anyways, I now had about 2 days to do the video editing. Where did the time go? I did what Scott does and made the beginning of the video really interesting.
Hey y'all, Scott here. You know, there's this neat thing that happens whenever I talk about game compilations. My house catches on fire. It's happened once before, it's practically a tradition at this point.
In my case, I did a lot of cool, attention-grabbing edits. Then, after I got my viewers' attention, I just started showing gameplay. Transitioning it into basically a Leafy is Here style commentary video, but with more care into what parts of the gameplay I show. You might notice the audio editing when it comes to music is whack. That's because I didn't really have any time at all to pick music. I remember having like 20 minutes to pick and add the music before my midnight deadline. Now, I can already see the comments flooding in. Well, technically Scott only has like 6.5 days to make the video because he also needs to render it and upload it. Well, I never took that into consideration when I started the challenge, and I wasn't about to change the rules. It would have been weird to upload my River City Girls video essay with no explanation of why it's different from my other video essays. If I did that, it would have looked like I was pulling an irate gamer and just completely ripping off Scott. Especially with the intro. Hola todos, Miguel Agui.
Hey y'all, Scott here.
Plus, I always intended to basically create multiple video essays in one video. I would do the challenge, which was one gaming related video essay in a week. Then, after showing it, follow it up with me talking what it was like to make it. Oh, and originally I was only going to talk about my old Scott The Woz video briefly, but it's no longer a brief segment, and it became its own video essay. So that's how this video became 3 video essays in one. I kinda regret this now, as this has become a much bigger project than I predicted, but it seems long video essays are all the rage nowadays, seeing how people like Jay Aubrey and The Right Opinion are doing. So I guess I'm just following trends by accident. Who could have saw that coming? Where was I now? Oh yeah, you might notice that the audio editing, when it comes to music, is whack. That's because I didn't really have any time at all to pick music. I remember having like 20 minutes to pick and add the music before my midnight deadline. So I chose some random songs from the River City Girls OST and hoped they worked. Now, most of the songs in the game don't have singing, but almost all of the songs I downloaded in this short period of time had singing. I hate using music with lyrics as the background music. It sometimes works, but I normally find it distracting. It kinda gives me the vibe of being in my old, loud, middle school gym and trying to have a conversation. All the screaming kids and the chatter in the background is doable, but not ideal. But I feel since the singing is kind of quiet, it wasn't really that distracting and it worked well enough. I considered using music I already frequently use in videos, like the song you're hearing right now. But I felt the video game music was absolutely necessary here. When talking about a game, especially a review, you should use music from the video game so the audience will know what types of music they will be hearing when they play the game. Plus, the music from this game is awesome. Like, come on, of course I'm going to use it. Now, are we forgetting something? Ah, yes. Shooting the live action scenes were a pain in the ass. First time I tried recording, the camera wasn't rolling. The second time... Great. I wasn't even recording. Oh no. It was grainy as hell. I had the ISO and other settings on my camera on auto, and for whatever reason it came out grainy as hell. Looking back at my older videos, it was only a little grainy. And the camera settings were on auto back then, so I don't know what the fuck happened. I then spent hours trying to figure out how to use the ISO and other camera settings. And still, The shot in the room either came out too grainy or too dark. My best guess now is it's because my pink light bulbs were almost dead and no longer as bright. I have new light bulbs now. I then had a panic attack. I was having trouble breathing and worried I wasn't going to finish the video on time. I was on the final day, and instead of editing the video, I was messing with camera settings to no avail. I kinda wanted to do the scream that Kanye does on the track, I Am a God, featuring God. I wanted the live action shots to be in the same location as it had been the past few video essays. But I was forced to resort to a location I hadn't shot in quite a while, the room right next to my bedroom. It's a weird coincidence that my 2 Scott The Woz videos were shot with a blank wall in the background, while none of my other videos were shot like that. And the live action sections came out really well. They look really crisp. I'm very proud. I'm actually proud of the whole River City Girls video essay. It came out great. It's legitimately funny at sections. The writing, while not my best, is good, and the editing is decent. It could have used some polishing up, as the music selection could have been better, and there are a few small errors visually speaking, like this typo or how poorly edited in the perk 30 text is. But for the time I had, I think I did an A-okay job, and I made a decent video essay. Alrighty, about a year ago, I started a series called The Blank Problem. It was going to be a series where I would make a quick little video essay about a problem. The concept being these would be the easier and quicker video essays to make. Something to fill the gaps between my big video essays that take a while to make. That series is now on hiatus, due to a lack of my personal interest in the series and the fact that I only want the best of the best on my channel. It's very unlikely I'll restart it. The Scott The Woz problem had the shortest production time out of all my video essays, which is why the editing gets a little lazy. I was just experimenting with cooking up something quicker than normal. I expected this to be one of my least viewed video essays, and it stayed that way for quite a long time, but now it ended up being one of my most viewed video essays on my channel. So my experiment was a success. Not only did it perform well, I feel this is where I developed a writing and editing style that screams Michael Alberto. This is where I developed my ability to really explain YouTubers' success well, along with the weird minimalist title cards, weird edits, and forcing in random edgy jokes. These would all become the norm on this channel that you are watching right now. Anyways, a lot of people disliked the video, and after reading the comments and just putting 2 and 2 together, I made a 7-point bullet list of the common man's issues with my video. It's clickbait. The problem isn't a big enough problem to warrant the title, or it's not even a problem. I never answered the problem. The fact I took too long to get to the problem and not talking about it for long. People disappointed it wasn't a hate video. I'm just mad because he's bigger than me. Let's go through all of these, one by one, shall we? The first problem people had was the fact it was quote-unquote clickbait. Now, clickbait is defined by Wikipedia as, quote, a form of false advertisement uses hyperlink text or a thumbnail link that is designed to attract attention and to entice users to follow that link and read, follow, or listen to the linked piece of online content with a defining characteristic of being deceptive, typically sensationalized, or misleading. Now, the video is called The Scott The Woz Problem, an analysis of his success and the emerging problem. In this video, I analyze his success and talk about a potential emerging problem. The potential problem I talked about is one for a lot of big creators with large communities like Scott's is. I never lied in the title, and it's not misleading. Just because you clicked thinking I was going to be destroying Scott with facts, logic, reasoning, and evidence is not my problem. You got exactly what was promised in the title. The second problem some folks had was the problem wasn't big enough to warrant the title, or it wasn't even a problem at all. Some folks believe I should have called it something else, as the problem segment wasn't really long. To them I say, I see where you're coming from, but the whole video was leading up to me discussing the potential problem. I discussed how Scott makes his videos just by analyzing them and using my experience as a professional video editor. Scott The Woz is an extremely talented creator whose insane work ethic, simple yet intriguing video style, and video formula makes it so he can upload high quality video game related video essays weekly. The problem I talked about is how I feel this can lead his younger viewers in his fan base attacking and harassing similar creators for not uploading as fast as him, even though people like the Angry Video Game Nerd have a more complicated production cycle and they could never put videos out as fast. I then imply he should explain his process of making videos to his audience and disencourage people attacking other creators, as disencouraging this behavior lowers the number of people doing it, and disencouraging this behavior is good morally and optically. Optics, in the political sense, is how an event will be seen by the general public. If some members in your fan base are bad, but you disavow them and encourage them to stop, that is seen as a good thing by the majority of the public. A few select people will always be mad no matter what you do that your fan base is like this, but to the common man, they see you making an effort to control your fan base, and they understand that a creator is only responsible for what their fan base does if they encourage it. Also, to my viewers, don't harass people I talk about in my videos. I think harassing people over silly things on the internet is stupid and silly. So anyways, I think it warrants the title, and I do think it could become a potential problem. Remember, I never said his fanbase was doing this. His fanbase is one of the nicest I've ever seen, as I've interacted with quite a few of them on his subreddit after my first Scott The Woz video went up. But I feel most of the audience I've interacted with are the older members. I felt, and do feel, his younger viewers who don't understand how stressful an online content creator can get might attack other creators for not uploading as fast. Problem number 4 some folks had with my video was the fact that I never answered the problem and gave advice to Scott. I felt I did answer the problem by making a whole video breaking down his production by what I see in his videos and explaining how people do things differently. And younger viewers not understanding this could lead to harassment. But in retrospect, I wish I was clear and gave straightforward advice on what to do. I just assumed it was obvious he should address this potential problem at some point, but that is a big flaw with the video looking back. And I really have no advice to give. He's been doing the right things. He went on a podcast to explain how he makes his videos, and he left this nice pinned comment on his Raid Shadow Legends video on not to attack creators who are sponsored by them or other companies. All I can really suggest to him is to keep saying things like this. Maybe produce some more behind the scenes content and explain some more on how he's able to get videos out so quick. That could be good content, Scott. Wink wink. Problem number 5 some people had was the fact that they felt I took too long to get to the problem and not talking about it for too long. Well, it takes 6 minutes to get to the problem, and everything before is important insight. And I do think the critique of me not talking about it long enough is valid. I wish I did that in hindsight and gave advice in that video. The 6th problem, it's the fact that it wasn't a hate video. I mean, it's pretty obvious some of those dislikes are from people disappointed who just hate Scott for whatever reason, but really don't know what to say besides I'm not sorry it wasn't a hate video. I'm just assuming the only people who hate Scott The Woz are crazy people who take video game opinions too seriously. and Stalinists.
I don't think Activision is sitting there going, that son of a bitch, that son of a bitch, for downloading ROMs of Call of Duty World at War on the DS. Pretty sure somebody called Stalin existed. I heard he was pretty bad, but sure. I ganked Call of Duty games from the DS. Satan, save a spot for me down there.
The 7th problem, and last problem, being from this guy. Did he even watch the video? He claims 3 times in a row he did. But I don't know how you can come to this conclusion if you watched the video. If I was mad he was bigger than me, I would have never made the video and secretly hoped for his downfall. Well, there you go. That's my follow-up to the Scott The Woz problem. He's grown even bigger since then. He'll be hitting 1 million subscribers soon, so I'd like to congratulate him early. Hey, this is Michael about to finish the video, and he already hit it, so congrats, Scott. You can hit huge milestones faster than I can upload videos. And yeah, I have no idea how long this video will end up being. It's literally 3 video essays in one. So if you watched all the way through, or just a few chunks or a chunk of it, thank you. Some people might continue to suggest I should take it down or change the title, but it's been up so long, I think I'm just gonna leave it there, just so I'll know how far my content has come.